Action.
Could just let me explain just a little bit so you guys understand what's happening here.
Yeah, for sure.
It's I'm doing this. It's a research about practice, like the way we practice, why we should practice, what to practice, and that kind of stuff. So I've been doing this for a long time. And now I'm on this new phase where I'm meeting people and, like doing interviews just to go through their lives and the way they started and how things developed, just so I can, understand how everything got together and, And,
like the evolution of the playing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's usually I do like a sort of like timeline. So we start in the beginning. I want to know like everything, like when you started, and it's amazing to have you guys here. I mean, for two reasons. You because, well, of course you're an amazing drummer and an amazing player, and but the fact that you're 20, right?
Yeah.
So this is awesome because to me, doing this research, I've been talking to a bunch of people, and all of them, they're more like mature musicians and they've been playing for such a long time.
Yeah.
And now I can talk to you and you're like right here, right now, just like developing it.
Yeah.
So this
totally.
is so cool, man, to get to know you better and understand your process and your development.
Totally.
And have your dad here to just, just tell his perspective on it because he saw it happening, right?
Yeah, totally.
I'm pretty sure he's a big part in it. So I'm very excited too. And thank you guys for coming. Thank you so much.
Dude,
thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us, man. It's just like, I'm just so excited for today in general. All of this, just like getting to hang out with other drummers and musicians. And it's so cool, man, for us. Like, we're awesome, so stoked.
Cool. So let's start in the beginning. Let me know. Tell me, how did it start? How was it?
Man, like I remember always having a drum set in the house.
Okay.
I guess you could say I was probably 2 when I got my first drum set.
2?
Yeah, I was 2 years old. They got me my first drum set.
Right on.
But before that, I was always hitting my dad's drums and stuff. And
right on.
So I just kind of always played. I don't remember necessarily like starting, but my first memories are like being in the living room and having like the drum set up and he would just turn on music and I would get to play along
to anything.
To anything. He would turn on everything, hip hop, rock, reggae, metal, like everything. He wanted me to like, he would just be like, try this, and whatever he would show me, I would want to like get better at it and like be like, look, yeah, you showed me this way, but look, now I can do it with this hand and I can do it this way, and like I guess that's kind of, it all started like so young. I just was.
And Can you remember then?
Yeah, and I've always been like so competitive too. So like whatever
I
he
was
would
gonna ask that.
Yeah, whatever he would show me, I'd be like, I could do it this much better.
I gotta play this. Yeah, I gotta play it better.
Yeah, basically, I have an older brother, so it's like my whole life, being the younger brother, you want to impress everyone.
How many brothers? How is it?
Just one older brother and then a younger sister as well.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. And you all play?
Yeah, we all play music. We all played drums growing up, and yeah. So fun.
And this first drums, was it like a complete set, or was it like a kids?
We got on this little kid's drum set because I would show him stuff with the sticks and he would copy it, and so I'm like, I got to get him a drum set now, and I found a drum set that he could fit on, because he was so little, so I had to get something that had like a bass drum pedal that barely worked. But I would show him a beat, and he would do it, and he would practice all the time. He caught on very quick.
You had your drum set there too.
Yeah.
Right. So sometimes you would maybe just go there and try to like reach.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of how it started. I wanted to play his drums, and it would get frustrating that I couldn't reach the pedal and stuff. I either had to only do the pedal or only the hands. I couldn't do both at the same time.
Stand up and
I would try standing.
But who do you play with?
I played with a bunch of bands growing up, and then my biggest thing was playing for a ska band, Dave Wakeling from the English Beat and General Public. Okay. I toured with him from like 1995 until 2000. So I was just his touring drummer that whole time.
I remember I went to Greg Bissonette. I went to one of his clinics, and he was with his dad, and his dad used to set up all his gear and everything.
Yeah, same as my dad's drum tech too.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So it was. Did it always work like that? You were always like present with him and.
Oh yeah. I always just every day that's the thing is that it went from I would come home and my wife would be like, he won't stop playing the drums. Everything you show him.
Yeah.
She's like, I can't get him to, like, I need him to read a book. I need him to work on other stuff, you know, like some school. And I'm like, well, you know, because it started out just practice 15 minutes a day. And then it's like half hour a day, then an hour a day. And then he'd play for 3 hours straight.
That's
and
crazy,
then,
man.
you know, and that's like around 10 years old. You know, he would be already practicing for 3 or 4 hours
always,
a day.
always because he wanted to. Never like, you were never like, you know, oh, you should do this or do this or that. Or it was always in his, like, his time or you.
Yeah, it was just he always wanted to play. Like, he would start losing, like, we would homeschool the kids.
Okay.
And then he would start like losing interest in the school and be like, I need to go. And she'd go play your drums for a little bit. And he would go out there and just rock out, you know. And
so you were his teacher for a little.
I was his teacher until he was like, well, I mean, I guess I'm always his teacher. But then he started getting so good, like, you know, because I'm like, I'm going to teach him everything that I can't do.
Okay.
You know, like play with your left hand on the hi-hat, play with your right hand, you know, switch it up. And then I was like, when he was 5, I'm like, I'm going to get him a double pedal because he's getting too good with the right. So play with your left foot and your right foot.
That's funny.
Yeah, and then around like, I don't know, was it 11 when you got into Thomas Pridgen?
Yeah, I think I found out about Thomas Pridgen when I was like 9 or 10 years old. And when I was 11, I was like, oh my God, he's playing right down the street from our house. Like, it was playing at a tiny little bar, like with his band after the NAMM show. And I was like, we have to go, Dad. We have to go. And so my dad and brother went with me, and we like waited outside. And then so my dad like held me up in the window all night so I could watch him because I couldn't get inside. Obviously, it was a bar, you know. Yeah. And so I just like stood in the window and watched him play all night, and I was just like mind blown. Like, I had never seen anyone do that. And he had seen my Instagram videos because I had started posting online before that. But I started.
So you were already. So you were already playing like putting videos out and.
I had just started because I started doing it literally for the purpose that I could get Thomas Pridgen's attention. That's the only reason
really?
I started.
So that was the purpose.
That was the purpose of me posting videos. Was
awesome.
Just
does
because,
he know that?
Yeah, he does. Just because like that was the only reason I started posting them. And I would just post videos of me and I would tag him in the videos, and I'd be like, look how good I can play, like trying to get his attention. And like it was so funny though because like people started watching him, and I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. Like people want to watch me play drums. So I was just like, okay, I guess I'll just continue posting. You know.
And this, you were 12.
I was about 11.
11.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I was 11. So and then I went. So anyway, we went to go see him, and he was like, I'm doing a drum clinic next week. You should come and watch.
That's cool.
And so we got to go watch him do the clinic, and then he let me perform in front of everyone. He was like, "This is my friend Tosh," and he let me play in front of everyone at the clinic. I think he just was like, "I know you want to play my drums. You should play them." And I was like, "Yeah, I do."
Do it, man.
So I got to play in front of everyone, and like that's kind of how it started. Like after that, I asked him if he would give me lessons, and he was like, "Absolutely."
So you took lessons with him.
Yeah, so that was my first like drum teacher that wasn't my dad, was Thomas, and I took lessons with him up until I was about 16, so like, you know,
Whenever
5
A
years.
few years, okay.
Yeah, like 5 years about.
How often was that?
I would try like once a month, but sometimes it would be a little bit longer because he wasn't in town. You know, we live in different
his
cities,
schedule.
so yeah, he lives in Northern California, I live in Southern California, and so whenever he would be in town, we would try to set it up. So
Dude, that guy, Thomas, he came for a bunch of clinics that we did with him down here, and that guy, he has. I don't even know how to explain, man. He has this. He plays so like in the edge, like he doesn't care.
Yeah.
And he goes for it. I've never seen anyone playing like that before. Like, when he's improvising, he doesn't care, man.
Yeah, dude.
He doesn't have like any like, you know, like we think like let's do this or do that.
Yeah.
He just goes to it, man.
Yeah.
It's
yeah, I know. I've
insane.
never seen anyone like. I wonder what's going through his brain when he's doing that. It's probably just like nothing. It's just like it's just so much going on. You can't even think about it, you know, like. But yeah.
How was those the lessons with him? Can you like say like did he have like any sort of like organization in what to do, or it was very like in the flow? How did it work?
I mean, I honestly think that he was the best teacher for me because he taught so random, and that's how I learned.
Okay.
So it'd be like, he'd be like, try this, and then I would do it, and he'd be like, cool, try this, and then like it would just be like, and it would be something completely different, like, and that's how I like to learn, and that's how I practice even to this day, is like very all over the place, and so it was kind of like, you know, a lot of that. It was just kind of, it would show me cool exercises and stuff that.
But mostly random.
Yeah,
like,
mostly just
whatever
random
you
stuff.
can't do, let's try to do it.
Yeah, pretty much
Something like
exactly that. Yeah.
Or some weird brain stretching exercises where you have your feet doing one thing
like
and then your
independent.
hands
Yeah,
doing
that's a
something
lot
else.
of what we did,
A lot of that.
and I would say like the most important thing I learned from him is how to come up with new exercises on my own and how to make like teach
Sure.
myself, you know.
Makes sense, yeah.
And so that's why, like, to this day, like, that's how I learn, is I teach myself stuff, going back to how he taught me and just thinking of new ways to try. Well, what if I tried this and this at the same time, and then I did all these 4 things at the same time, and like.
So it's a lot out of curiosity and also like, you know, trying to develop something from nothing. Like,
Yeah, exactly, totally.
That's very cool, man. Is there any? Did he ever like bring any book or anything like from the formal world of practice? You know,
Not
any of
really.
those famous books or?
No,
anything?
you know, I tried to find some of those on my own, but for the most part with Thomas, it was pretty much just, he would just show me stuff. And
Do you read music? Or?
yeah, so I actually learned how to read music around the same time when I was 11, because maybe a little bit, might have been a little bit younger,
It's right around then.
10 or 11,
10,
because I got asked to play drums for like a local musical theater company, and I had to read music for that, obviously.
right on.
So I learned how to for the gig. So I kind of like the music director would sit with me and kind of teach me how to do it, and that's so I learned when I was pretty young, and I don't have
yourself?
to do it. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't have to do it very often, like. Now, but I still enjoy it. I like knowing how to, and I write little notes that are like somewhat, like when I'm learning music, it'll be somewhat writing music out and stuff, you know, but yeah.
So any of these gigs that you've been playing, none of them requires to read anything or.
Honestly, the
Mostly
only gig
not,
that I ever
right?
had to read music on was the
that one.
musicals, yeah. And but I
Yeah.
did those for a long time. I would do
Uh-huh.
those about the whole time that I was taking lessons with Thomas, from like 11 to like 16.
That's cool.
I was doing a lot of them. Yeah, that was like my main like time getting to play with other musicians,
Right
was
on.
doing those.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
you did some lessons with Jake Reed, and he has a music book. That was more jazz stuff. He did
Yeah,
some
Oh,
so
so
I
you
wanted
went
to-
that way too.
So I wanted to learn more jazz drumming as well, because it was something very different than what I have ever played, you know?
Just out of curiosity again.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Just-
jazz it's not a style that you like listen to a lot, or
well,
it is a
I
little
do
bit?
now, but when I was younger, I didn't.
Okay.
So now I've gotten into it more. But when I was like 14 or 15, I started taking lessons with this drummer, Jake Reed, who's like incredible. And
Nice.
he's a
From LA.
teacher. Yeah, he's a teacher at USC as well.
Oh,
so
right on.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's a really good jazz drummer. And so I learned from him doing that. And he had a few books out and stuff. So
Yeah, he studied under Peter Erskine.
Oh, right on. Yeah, he's
So
awesome.
yeah.
yeah, I
it's
actually
like-
met him because I met Peter Erskine. I asked him to give me lessons, and he's like, you should take lessons from this guy because I'm too busy, you know. And so I started taking lessons with Jake Reed, and yeah, so that was kind of like I got to get in the book like that a little bit, and I went through his some of his books, you know.
And that was it.
Yeah, pretty much like
books.
that. I haven't taken a lot of lessons with him, but they were really helpful, honestly. Like I learned so much from that.
That's nice.
Yeah, man.
During that time when you were like you just started taking lessons with Thomas Pridgen, what were the music that you were listening to back then? What was it?
Man, I listened to so much different music, and I still do.
anything.
And like, honestly, like my whole life, it'll be like, if I'm playing music, you'll hear me play along to a Bob Marley song, and then play along to a metal song, like you know, any band, you know, like
Mars Volta.
the Mars Volta was a big one because of Thomas.
Yes.
So that was like, I listened to
hard
a lot
one.
of them. Yeah, I know.
It's hard.
I tried to learn a lot of those songs. I did my best.
Very hard.
Yeah, it's so good, dude. And so I don't know. I would say I just have really always listened to so much different music.
But did you have like that playlist that you really like? You know, like when you like driving that's then listening to, or when you're going somewhere you're with your headphones listening to, you know, that
Yeah,
one?
I mean, like when I was younger, I would say it was a lot of like the Mars Volta and then a
Okay.
lot of hip hop stuff as well.
Cool.
I always just loved the drum beats and hip hop music, and being able to make them live sounding, you know, was always the coolest part. But I would say like now it's more spread out. Like it used to be like a lot of like I said, the Mars Volta, hip like Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, all that stuff. But now it's literally every day it changes, man. Like one day it's Limp Bizkit, one day it's Oscar Peterson. One, you know, it's very very all over the place.
What about I really
Yeah, Co-Wetzel. I love country music, man. I love it so much.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
I want to try to understand a little bit of your like how you like your perception when you're listening to music. If you can describe, I don't know if you're gonna be able to do that, but it's like when you're listening to music, is there any path that you like doing, like, or is just always for fun, like just listening and entertaining, or sometimes you go really deep inside and try to understand that beat or that, you know, the subdivision or something like that?
I guess it really just depends, like honestly, on my mood, because sometimes like I'll just listen to music and play along to it because it feels right and it's fun, but I never get like too in depth about thinking, you know. For the most, it's what I feel inside of me, kind of is what I want,
and then go for it.
And go for it, yeah. And then I'll learn songs. I like to, you know, learn songs too that you can't just like play along to. You have to like actually learn the parts because it changes so much.
Okay.
That's always like fun for me. But if I'm listening to music, it's just kind of whatever I feel inside of me that I want to hear, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean it's fun when you go and you hear like songs with all these changes and stuff, and like A Perfect Circle or Tool and stuff like that.
Okay.
That and sitting there and like learning a song, but honestly, I have to learn so much music with all the different gigs that I have to play.
Yes.
So when I'm playing at home, I kind of want to just let loose on anything. Even if I don't know it, I'll just play on top of it, whatever I feel, you know.
Cool.
Yeah.
Can you describe like how do you do it when you have to understand a song? Like let's say you have like a new tour to play, you know, like how do you do it? Like,
Yeah.
Do you write them down? Do you like go through the songs and listen to them a lot?
Yeah, I do kind of like a bit. I honestly have been like, I'm pretty lucky with how I can like, I found a method that works for me to learn songs, where I listen to it once through and I'll like stop and start it and I'll write down little notes, just like, the way I write things is just like it makes sense to me, but maybe not other people.
It's
It'll be
like a map.
Yeah, kind of just like snare. It's like snare on downbeats for the intro, you know, and then I'll understand. And it'll be like whatever I'll call it. Like I call it like I'll just be like typical punk beat or something like that, and like different stuff like that. And then it'll be like fill in a stop on 3 and like, you know, stuff like that. And I stop and start the song as I'm going, and I write down the little notes through the whole song, and you know, I have the verse, chorus, and then if the chorus is the same, I just write the same as the last one and stuff like that. And I'm able to map it out kind of like that. And then I listen through the song again and I read along with my notes. So I usually will listen to it twice before I attempt to play along to it, you know? Mm-hmm. And then usually I can play through it looking at my notes, and then I can kind of like remember the notes in my head, and you know, and that's kind of like it's a pretty quick method, but then like, and you know, like that's how I learned to be able to get through the song. And then the more I play along to it, the more comfortable, and it's just like where I'm not thinking as hard and I can just have fun with it. So when I'm getting ready for a tour, like, yeah, like they can back me up, but that's pretty much all we're listening to in the house is at dinner time.
Everybody knows this.
Yeah, at dinner time, everyone hears the same Machine Gun Kelly song or Young Thug song, whatever it is. Like they know exactly how they go because I learn them so I know them, but then I just want to have them on in the background, so I'm subconsciously listening to them, and I know what every time it goes to the chorus, what it's going to do right here.
In the car. Everywhere.
Yeah, so it's like, it's kind of a mix of both, you know. I have my method that I do to learn it so I can read it and get through the song. No matter what, if I have to learn a song in 10 minutes, I'll do it and I'll make it happen. But I'd like to listen to it a lot as well, like just to get comfortable with it and not feel so like tense and worried about it, you know. So yeah.
And if you are, let me say, how can I say this? Is it different for you to practice something or to just have fun with it, or it's like all mixed together for you when you sit down to practice? Let's say, you know, like you're at home and you have like half an hour to practice or 1 hour to practice. Do you go through like just play whatever you want to play, or do you have like a method to?
He practices some weird stuff.
So I
yeah, I hear him practicing all day. You can tell when he's playing along to music.
Okay.
And when he's learning something new, he comes up with something, some different pattern or something that he's working on. And
yeah, so I have like the same warm up routine that I do every day. It's about an hour or two every morning. It's pretty weird to walk through the whole thing, but it's like it starts out with just back and forth on the kick and the hand. So it's like teku 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 teku, and I start on 8 on each drum, and you know, from snare to rack to floor to rack tom.
Always
again.
kick and right, or
kick and left around, and then back, and then kick and right. So I'll do 8 on each drum on each hand, and then I go all the way down to 1. So 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then back up to 8, and I do that, you know, with the hi hat on the downbeats.
But it's always the same subdivisions, like 16th notes.
Yeah, it's 16th notes the whole time, and you know, and so I start with that, and then I do the same with doubles, you know, and then I just start getting into some really weird stuff from there, like where it'll be like, I have things I call California sevens that I saw Brooks Wackerman playing. I've never seen it. It's like teku 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 teku, but then the snares is like teku 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 teku. So the snares in 4,
turns
you know,
into a groove like a 4/4.
Yeah, exactly. So just lots of different stuff like that. You know, it's like all over the place. It's pretty much the same every day, but it's pretty chaotic and all over the place. You know, and
so it's a little random.
Yeah,
also,
a little
right?
bit. So actually, I kind of want to. I know this is a podcast, but I can show you how I have like my metronome written out.
Of course.
If I pull this up right here. So I have my warm-ups, if you can see, like, and it's like, it says each thing, and so I have 15 different tempos that I do, and you know, and I have egg beaters and paradiddle triplets, you know, and it's you know, stuff like that, and I have it all just kind of written out in ways that I understand, I guess, so I remember. But at this point, it's such muscle memory that I don't even really look at it. I just click on the tempo and I know what I'm doing, you know?
Yeah.
It's very, like, I guess you'd call it, like, OCD, and, like, I have to do it the same every day.
Yeah.
And, like, even if I'm leaving the house not to do anything drum-related, like, I have to, like, before I flew down to Argentina, I woke up extra early in the morning, even though my flight was like kind of early, but I woke up at 5 a.m. so I could do the warm-ups before I left, just because.
That's OCD. Then.
Yeah, just because I wouldn't feel right if I left the house without doing them, you know.
Oh my God, I thought I had.
Yeah.
OCD. That's
rehearsals for the tour. They're like, okay, we're gonna rehearse at 10 a.m. He gets up. If it's gonna take us an hour and a half to get up there, he'll get up extra early to do his warm-ups, then eat breakfast.
So luckily now my band understands, and I tell them, can we start in the afternoon so I don't have to get up so early?
I have to get up at 4 a.m. to do
that. They're like, why don't you just not do the warm-ups? I'm like, I can't do that. I can't do that. So that's awesome. But anyway, back to like the practice routine. Once I finish that, the rest of the day is a free-for-all kind of. So I would say I probably have the most fun with working on different exercises and trying to come up with stuff like, you know, I'll do this groove in 7 on my kick drum, and then my hi-hat's tapping with accents on 3, and then I do, you know, double paradiddles on top, or you know, a paradiddle in 7 on top, you know, and like different, or just try to do different exercises like that all day. And I think honestly, lately that's what I have the most fun with, just because I do play so much music with like all the different bands that I play with, so. I play along to a lot of music for fun as well, you know, but it's just I'm playing so much music, I want to get as much practice time to make me a better drummer, and not just, you know, being a better musician is very important. I think it's the most important thing. Okay. But I also want to continue being the best drummer that I can be, and practicing stuff that's nerdy for us drummers that we like to see and that we like to hear and stuff. So I practice so much of that stuff that it's just like it. You know, next thing I'll notice it's been 5 hours and I'm practicing the same thing, you know, and just because I can't get it, and it takes forever, you know, but, you know, like I said, it's super chaotic, so it'll be like I'll be practicing one thing, and then I'll get it down and I'll just go to something completely random that I already know how to do, and then I'll come back to it and be like, oh yeah, I was trying to do this, and then and then I'll like turn on a Foo Fighters song and play along to that, and then I'll go back to like this weird exercise that I want. And then I'll like hear something in my head and I'll be like, oh, that sounds kind of cool. Like, what if I tried playing that? And then I'll be like, that's too easy. What if I played it with my left foot on the kick drum on my, left pedal? And it's really chaotic, and I don't know if it makes any sense.
No, it does actually.
But,
do you have any method of like recording new stuff or something that comes to your mind and then you record that just so you have like a, like a list of stuff that you like that you know?
I probably should do more of that, but I usually record it once I get it down, and I'll like put it on my story. So I have them, but I don't have it necessarily organized.
Okay.
It's just like I scroll through my phone and I'll click on a random video, and some of them are me not getting it down, me practicing it, and I just never get it. And so I have to scroll through and like find the one that actually is the final product of what it sounds like.
Okay.
So I don't really have it as organized. But I'll film stuff just for the fun, to just be like, hey, I like to show like all my followers and friends and stuff,
Sure.
like, here's what I'm practicing, like, check this out. It's kind of,
That's
I'll
very
like
cool.
kind of try to explain what it is in a way that most people will understand, because I mean, I even know that the way I understand things is very weird. Like, I don't think most people would understand what I'm even trying to say, just because I am not very good at explaining it.
So, but you have a studio like all set up and ready, so you can just get there and
Yeah,
do and
it's in my garage at my house.
Right on.
So
That's awesome. It's perfect.
So I can just be in there all day. I sleep in there too, actually.
Oh my God, man!
It's,
He does. He's got a futon in there.
sleep
He
in
literally plays drums 10 to 12 hours a day, solid, every day.
My girlfriend comes over and watches me practice. That's how we hang out. She's like,
She has the headphones on.
she
She's
puts
got
the headphones on and we'll like email her.
Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram. Yeah, literally. Yeah, I practice all day, man. And I love it so much, and yeah, I have the studio set up too to where I can record, and so a lot of my day too now that I've got the studio fully set up to where I can record albums and stuff, I record for a lot of people.
So you do it right from your studio? Then?
Yeah, I do
The
session work.
recordings.
I do
Right
session
on.
work like nonstop, dude. Like, it's
People
pretty.
send you stuff and you'll send them back. with
Yeah,
them.
exactly. It's the coolest thing ever, man. Like, getting to make songs with people that are in different countries
Yes.
or like different parts of the world, and like, you meet people, online, and you never think that you'll get to play with them, and
Yeah.
and next thing you know, you're releasing songs. Like, I have people in Germany that we have songs out, and people in Italy and Australia and stuff, and it's like, it's the coolest thing ever,
That's
like,
very cool, man.
Yeah.
I just get to, and I just love making music and hearing a product, like hearing something that I play drums on, and it sounds how it sounds with raw drum mics, and then you hear it all mixed and done and edited with when they re-record their parts and stuff. It's
Yeah.
like, it's just so, like, that's probably my favorite thing, is getting to hear it back and be like, wow, this is something I did in my garage, and
Yes.
I'm able to just,
What do you use there as far as equipment?
So
Do you
I have
any-
a QSC Touch Mix 30 is what I record everything with.
Okay.
And that honestly does like all the work for me. It's amazing. It's
I've
preset.
never used it now.
It's really cool. It's kind of new, I think. I think it's a newer thing. But I got in touch with QSC like towards the end of 2020. Like so it was still mid-pandemic, and I wasn't able to really record for anyone. So I was like, getting a mask, going to a studio, and like staying far away from people and stuff, and trying to do it like that it was so difficult. I was like, I need to do something. I was like, I saved up my money. Let me buy this, and I got in contact with them, and they helped me out and figure out what I need and stuff. And so I got that, and then I bought a Shure mic pack, and
Right on.
and it works for everything. I got a microphone from my neighbor, and like just kind of pieced it all together, and bought some cables online, and
And you did it yourself, or you had someone
Yeah,
over
we did.
to position the mics and stuff like that?
I did it myself. I called a bunch of friends that I know that do it, and I would like FaceTime them and show them like, does this look right? Does this? I don't know what. And I would.
Producer friends and
Yeah,
stuff.
and then friends would ask me to record stuff, and so like one is like Matt Bexley or Chris Griotti are like two producer friends of mine, and like
Okay.
we would record something, and it would be like they would just be like, oh yeah, put your hand like this, and then put the mic there, like try that, like
Just measure this,
yeah,
measure
just like
that.
measure with your fingers
Yeah.
and like that, and just like show me that like actually a good friend of mine who runs sound for Carlie Hanson, who's an artist I play with, Custer, he told me, he was like, just put a vocal mic in the corner, and I've tried it, and I don't even care if this is like a secret or something, but I put it against a mirror in my room, and people tell me like it's in the back of the room, like just like it's not even facing the drum set, it's pointing against a mirror, and people will be like, what's the second room microphone?
Really,
That sounds
nice.
Yeah.
They're like,
Room-
it sounds
yeah.
beautiful, and I'm like, yeah, you'd be surprised. Like, I wait until they mix it to tell them what it is.
Yeah,
because I'm like,
it's like, I'm not going to use this.
Yeah, exactly.
This is this is wrong.
Yeah, that's wrong. But it literally, my friend Custer, he was just like, try this, dude. Like, he's like, just try putting it in the corner. And I just put it there, and I was like, it sounds okay. And I put it against the mirror, and now it's like everyone. I've been recording songs for like massive artists that it's not even out, and their producers are like, wow, that microphone sounds insane. What is that? Like, it's a cheap little, $90 vocal mic,
a little Shure SM57 or something like that against the mirror.
It's one of those ones with the switches that turns it on and off and stuff. It's like, and it's one of the best sounding microphones like that. And it's just, I don't know.
It's funny because cool. everything you say, it's like it feels like everything happens in a very organic way with you, because it's like just trying and doing things out of curiosity and just understanding and learning on the fly, right?
Yeah, totally.
So since you started doing your own recording by yourself with no tags or anything, do you think that made you just listen to drum sounds differently, like just going through whatever you like hearing, just going there and see like, dude, check out this snare, just you with yourself?
Yeah, totally, because I've always been more like, I guess I used to be really into like the gear and stuff, but like more recently I'm just so obsessed with playing, I don't even have time to like I don't think about the gear as much. I'll play on anything. I'm just happy to be playing drums, you know. And but really listening to it, it's like, I love a ringy snare drum. You know, I love when my snare drum's really ringy. But then you listen back on some recordings, and I'm like, I think about things differently. Like you said, like how it will translate recording. You know, and if I like how this sounds in the room, but it might not sound as good, you know, on this album or whatever. And so it's really cool. Like thinking about it all. It's nice, you know. I live with my dad, who's my drum tech, and so I can always call him and be like, "Hey, my rack tom sounds terrible right now. Like, can
please come over?
Yeah, please come in the room and fix this." Like.
Or he'll be like, we want a rock snare for this song, you know, so we loosen the head a little, make it more
punchy.
Yeah. And so you really, it's cool, like getting to, and you know, it's funny because like I said, like there's certain, I really like, you know, like a ringy, high pitched kind of snare drum. Not too much, but like, so that's what you hear in a lot of like my own band songs. But like on most of the recordings that I do, it's like I'm playing pop punk or stuff like that, where you need just like a nice fat snare sound that, you know, it sounds, you know, I don't know, it's just, it's different, it's funny, or like, it's like the difference in how does a Limp Bizkit song versus a Jxdn song like sound completely different, you know. It's just like, it's so cool. Like I guess I didn't think about the drum sounds as much before. I just thought about how I was playing them. But now it's like kind of, you know, like I said, it's nice having my drum tech as my dad. You know.
It's just easy. But so you're not looking for a specific song that you didn't find yet? Like, are you looking for trying to find the because what I'm trying to say is there is the equipment, the sound of the equipment or the snare drum, but there is the way you hit it too.
Yeah,
right?
totally.
So sometimes you see that if you hit it with like more loosely, or if you hit it a little more stiff, then it would sound so different.
Yeah.
Do you think about that at all? Or
a little bit, like with recording and stuff, like, you know, live I'm always bashing my ride. It's more of a crash ride than anything, you know. I don't.
It's all like crash.
It's all crash, just a bunch of crashes basically. But on recordings it doesn't really translate when you have like a big 24-inch ride like that you're crashing.
It's going to be too much.
It's just too much, you know. And so I can play the 24-inch ride, but I have to like kind of really like think about it like that, like you were saying, like different stuff like that, you know, and also just like how I play fills is too, not necessarily for the sound, but how they translate with the feel and stuff. Like there's fills that I think sound so cool, but you know, I'll put them in a song and I'm like, it just doesn't fit. It's just like as much as I like it, then I like the way it sounds.
It sounds
I'm like,
great, it's amazing, but it doesn't really fit.
Yeah, like it would impress any drummer, but anyone listening to it's gonna be like, the song just stopped, you know, like yeah. So I mean, it's just like, you know, thinking about things differently. I think recording has really helped me do that, you know.
Oh yeah, of course, for sure. What about preparation for like gigs, especially gigs like huge acts like you've been playing lately? How is it? Take me to the rehearsal. How does it work with these kind of people?
I mean, with a lot of people, like my main band right now is Jxdn, which is who I'm playing with down here, and we don't really rehearse a whole lot together as a band. So we all have to show up very prepared, you know. So because we'll do maybe one rehearsal for a tour,
Oh,
or
really?
one or
So
two.
It's like that.
It's
so
like
everybody has to come individually
prepared. Yeah, exactly. And so that's, I think, why it works so well, is because he doesn't want to sit in a rehearsal room all day. Like,
Okay.
And so he's like, why would we all sit here together? It's like, just show up knowing what you need to know. And so, so learning like the music and stuff, I really just try to think of it. I guess I get the songs, and at this point I know most of what we're playing. But he's writing a new album, so we've been getting a lot of new songs to learn, especially.
Are you going to record it?
No, Travis Barker records.
Okay.
Yeah, Travis Barker.
He recorded the first one, right?
Yeah, he records all of Jxdn's music.
Everything.
So
he produces and records it.
Yeah, exactly. So like I learn a lot of his parts, and it's kind of nice. I kind of learn his method of how he plays now. So much of like, when it goes to the chorus, it'll be like a little snare breakdown and stuff like that. Or I mean, the bridge, it'll be like a little snare breakdown. And so I guess like I'll just get the songs, and like I said, I learn them and I listen to them nonstop. And I think about different ways. We don't have like a music director or someone like telling us.
Oh, you don't?
No, we don't. So we go in there, and we have to think of things on our own, of like ways to like make it more live, I guess.
Okay.
Because
So it's very like band oriented.
Exactly. Yeah, and
the way of thinking.
And that's exactly how like Machine Gun Kelly does it as well. Like
they do that.
They're the same way.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like everyone's giving their input. And I was just a sub when I was playing for Machine Gun Kelly. Like it was like I was filling in for the drummer.
Who plays for him?
Rook is the name. His drummer. He's a badass. He's one of my favorite drummers, dude. Yeah,
cool.
It was like I was so blown away when he called me to fill in for him. I was like, yes.
Almost saying,
yes,
okay.
I just said yes, and then I hung up and I was like, I need to learn every song now. Like, I mean, that's the thing. I wasn't scared for the first show because he wasn't there, and the second show he was there, and I'm like, now I'm nervous, dude. Like, but anyway, so like that. Even though I was just a sub, they were still asking me my opinion on things. Like, what do you think of this? What if we tried it like this? And what do you like? What would you do here? What would you do here? So it's like you really have to think of things like a band and like how can I make this better than the recording, because people don't want to go to a show and just hear the recording.
Of course,
they want to hear
make it live.
Yeah, exactly. Even if it's the same structure, it's like you still have to like give it more energy and stuff. And little things like Jxdn has a song called Think About Me, and so on the pre-chorus I just decided to do 16th notes, and everyone was like, oh, that sounds amazing, like let's continue doing that, and just stuff like that. You have to like think of it as I guess just whatever's gonna sound best to an audience, and not just on a recording.
Yeah. Is this the biggest act you've ever played with?
I would say probably I think Bad Bunny is probably the biggest artist.
Bad Bunny's pretty big.
Yeah, I think he's probably the biggest artist I've played with.
Thug's pretty big.
Young Thug, Machine Gun Kelly. Jxdn's a bit newer, he's smaller. We still play clubs and stuff, and so it's kind of cool. But it's been growing really well. Like since I've joined the band, it's been like, it's we started. It was like cool. I was like, okay, this is gonna do well, and then we played our first show, and I was like, oh, this is really like I like being in this band. This could
cool,
go
man.
somewhere. And
that's the best. I mean,
and we
that way there,
and we all get along like instantly. It was like, man, this is the band I want to be in.
That's very cool, man.
Totally.
But from all these big acts, did any of them have like a more a different approach to rehearsals and practice at all, like as a band? Like, is there any of them that likes to go to the studio and spend like days before? Well,
yeah, I mean, I did a few. Like I did Lil Nas X is an artist. I played with him for just a performance. We did like 4 songs, and we were in rehearsals like all week from morning till night, like every day, like. And he has a music director with him trying different things, like switching stuff up, and it's very like rehearsed and like note for note. We're gonna play it the same every time.
Okay, so it's got to be like very.
Yeah, and it was a lot different for me. Like I loved it, honestly. I thought it was really cool. But it's just like different because with Jxdn, the fills are different every night. Or Machine Gun Kelly, it's like I wasn't playing the same fill every single time we played the song. It's whatever we're feeling in the moment. But this was like, okay, well, they're like, well, what if you tried this and maybe hit that tom instead of that tom, and then so it's like
very specific,
like trying stuff out, and like they just wanted to try everything. And same with I did an artist called Bazzi, and he's pretty popular too. And we did a filming that was one song. We were in rehearsals for 5 days,
really
playing the one song. Remember that? They had us in there, and we were just like...
But why was that? That there was any like light or something like more to it?
I mean, they just wanted it to be so dialed. Even when they weren't changing stuff, they were like, all right, let's just keep doing it over and over.
Yeah, there's backup singers, there's all kinds of
stuff.
Yeah,
so it wasn't necessarily just for the drums. It was a big production, you know? So it was like, you know, background singers, bass, keyboards, guitar, like everyone was in there, and he was rehearsing it too because it was his first time performing that song ever as well. So he just wasn't sure how he wanted to make it sound live because he, like I said, he didn't want to just play the recording. He wanted it to be a new thing, you know. So that was very much just like repetition. And for me, it was like the drums were, you know, once we figured out exactly what we wanted to do, like it didn't really change anything. So it was a little bit like, okay, we're playing the same song over and over and over again.
Did you find it boring?
A little bit, you know, just like because I'm like, I want to play new stuff. And I would get home and I'd be like, frustrated, feeling like I hadn't practiced anything new all day, you know, and so I'd get home.
So you felt that way.
Yeah, a little bit, you know, but I understand we got to do what's best for the show, and you know, and whatever.
And the situation as well. It's a different situation.
Yeah, exactly. And with Jxdn, it's more loose and it's punk rock.
And it sounds like that.
Yeah.
Every clip that I saw from you guys, it's very raw and it sounds like a punk rock band playing together.
Yeah, that's what we want to do. Yeah, and that's like our approach to it. Yeah. And so it's just every gig's different. You have to approach them all differently. But I like both ways, you know. I like when we're in there all day and we're so tight to where it's so locked in and everyone just feels like one gel. But I also like kind of flying by, like, who knows what could happen, you know? Like,
let it happen, see what's going to happen,
Yeah, I love it all.
During those rehearsals that you had to go every day, play the same thing over and over, was it, like, of course, in the beginning, it was just the band trying to get to play the song and play right. But after a while, then when everybody's already playing everything in its right place, then it's only repetition on those situations.
Pretty
much.
It
like only like just do it again, do it again, do it again?
Yeah, it's a lot of that, but also a little bit of like, you know, this sounds like what, you know, now that I hear this more, maybe this doesn't sound as right. Maybe we should try, maybe play, you know, maybe lay out on the bass for that note.
Yeah, maybe the bass should drop out here.
Yeah, and like they just like will like want to do it so much so they can hear every option, and they'll record the different options, and you know listen back and be like, I think I like this one a bit better, but then what if we tried this one with this or this, you know, and just like switch stuff up, you know, like what if you went to a side stick here? It's like this one's perfect except, you know, maybe the background singer shouldn't sing this part, so you know, just like
little things, little changes here and there.
Yeah, exactly. So just like. They're just really like on a lot of the bigger pop gigs like Lil Nas X or Bazzi, like they just want it to be so perfect and so locked in and kind of different for like Young Thug.
Well, and they record the rehearsals too, so they can hear it back and he'll something maybe he didn't like that he's hearing, you know. So the next day he'll change it, right?
Yeah,
you know?
and it's also like you want to have as many options as possible, just so like, you know. If this one doesn't necessarily translate as well on the recording, that was for like the Lil Nas X video was for BBC One Live Lounge or whatever, and it was very like, you know, like this would be cool if we were playing in an arena, but since we're just playing in like the live lounge, maybe we should try this and like maybe it should be a little more stripped back. Maybe you should play this bass even. Like they were like going like even like deciding what instruments the bassist should play, you know, different stuff like that and. Yeah, it's different, like, because you do stuff like that, but then we do Young Thug, where it was just, like, went in, listened to the song, had them put cues. We went in not even knowing the songs, because they didn't send us the songs, so we went into rehearsal, they played us the songs once, and kind of were like...
Oh, so you were learning the songs there.
Well, with Young Thug, so it was like, we went in, and they would play us the song, basically, once, and we'd be like, can you put cues in the in-ears, you know, to tell us where the verse, chorus, and,
that would help.
And we just played it, and it was like, cool. That was easy. It's like it's very different where it's like Lil Nas X, we got the songs a week before, so I went in knowing them, and then we still rehearsed all day. But Young Thug, we didn't even know the songs, and we rehearsed 3 days, but that was also switching. Like, what if we tried this song instead? Like, that was changing the songs, you know? So it's, everyone's very different, you know? It's very, and like I said, I like both ways, you know? Like, I like the looser structure, and I like being super rehearsed, and I think it's all cool, you know? And just, it's just different experiences and different ways people like to work.
What are you looking for, like for next few years as a player? Are you like, is there anything in your mind, like any challenge or something that you want to get to be better at some area or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, I just, like I said, with all the crazy exercise and stuff, I just do that stuff every day, and I want to be able to, in years, like, look back at the stuff I'm doing now and be like, man, that was nothing. Okay. Like, think about what I can do now. Yeah. That was easy. Like, that's easy compared to what I'm doing now. And I just want to be so good at every genre of music that I can hop around. You know, I can be the drummer who plays with a metal band and then plays with a hip hop band, and it's kind of cool. Like I'm almost like, as I'm playing with all these different artists, I'm like checking off a list, kind of like, okay, I played for a rapper, and like now I played for a punk rock singer, and now it's like, you know, I did I want to play for a country band and stuff like that, you know, and I just want to be able to do as many different genres as I can, but I also want to be more a part of like the writing process with my different bands and stuff.
I was gonna ask that.
Producing and writing.
Yeah,
I like to do that too.
Yeah, I've gotten to do a little bit of that recently and stuff, and being my own artist, featuring on songs. I released a song with an artist named 93 Feet of Smoke and this other artist Femme, and we did a song together. And it's like the first time I see like featuring Tosh the drummer on a song. I just want to start doing more of that, and like that's kind of like, I guess, a challenge, because you have to put out a song. It's different. Like when you're just playing drums on a song, it's like cool, I can play drums on any song. But when it says your name, it's like, man, this song needs to be really good, because everyone's gonna see it's my name, you know. Like, and I'll promote any song that I play on, but I'm like, if it's gonna say my name, I want this to be like the best song. So I want to be as involved in, like, you know, just I like being involved with the whole process. You know, I want to write the songs, record the songs, tour with the songs. Like, I love it all.
Do you play any other instrument?
A little bit. I can mess around on guitar, bass, not very well.
Do you plan to, or
I don't know. I like it. I enjoy it. I'm gonna continue, you know, messing around strumming, but I'm just like so obsessed with drums. Like I don't really have the like. I don't think about anything else other than drums.
Yeah.
It's like that's. I have no patience to listen to any other instruments or try to like. I'll sit there and like learn a chord and be like, why would I do that? Like, this is stupid. Like, and it's like I respect it so much because I just can't do it. I'm just on drums all day. Like, you know, I'll sit there. I know 5 chords on guitar that I can strum and it's fun, you know. And then I'm like, 10 minutes later, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna play more drums, you know.
I'm asking this because once you start thinking about producing artists, or you know, getting more involved with the writing process and stuff like that, it would be easier for you, you know, to right. I mean, to write songs and write some chords and melodies and stuff like that.
I think that's nice, is being able to listen to a song as just an average listener, not just as a drummer, not just as a musician. Like, how is everyone else gonna hear this? And it's kind of like, like you said, it's good, you know, to be able to play those instruments. It would be easier. I just don't have the time to get good at it. I'm too focused on playing drums.
Do you have a big challenge in mind? Like something that, what's the biggest challenge?
Man, I don't know. I just kind of want to keep playing with as many people as I can. I don't know. It's not necessarily one specific goal. Okay. It's kind of just like,
oh, Tico Torres is in your way of that challenge.
Oh yeah, I guess I want to play drums for Bon Jovi. That's my biggest goal. That's my favorite band of all time.
Is it really?
Yes, I'm obsessed with them. I want to play with Bon Jovi so bad.
That's awesome, man.
But yeah, that's probably.
I'd love to see that.
Maybe Oasis will do a reunion and I'll get to play drums for them or something like that. But those are like, I don't know. I just guess I think my favorite thing is when I get to play with a band that I'm a fan of. You know, I listen to Machine Gun Kelly. I listen to Young Thug. You know, so it's like. It's cool when you get to play with these artists that I know the music already. I'm a fan of them, and so I guess if I can just keep doing that, and you know,
would you change anything? Like if you play with Bon Jovi, for example, like what would you change there as far as, you know, because you have a very, you already, it's funny because you're 20, right?
Yeah.
You already have a signature of your. I can't hear you playing that.
Oh, thanks.
Which is awesome. I think this is probably one of the main like things that we look for as a musician, right? Like to have your own signature, your own sound.
Yeah.
So do you see, if you see you playing with a like a band like Bon Jovi, what would be your approach, you know, to like the feels and stuff like that?
I'd probably get a Mega Bell ride. No,
I think you would still know it was Tosh.
You would still hear Tosh. I would definitely try to approach it, and like the signature fills that are in the Bon Jovi songs, I already know them all, like note for note. So I would play like that, but I think the feel will always sound like the way I play, like.
Yeah, of course.
I guess my setup would change, and that would probably be the biggest difference. I would probably have more drums. I like playing 4 drums, and that's enough for me.
But not
yeah.
Instead of that.
Yeah. Yeah, I would definitely try to make it fit the music still.
Put some Tosh sauce on it.
Yeah.
Right on, man. Well, thank you guys, man. Thank you so much for coming.
Oh, dude.
I'm just
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
This is
And
the coolest
can't
thing
wait
ever.
to see you playing tonight.
Glad to
Yeah,
be
man.
in
person.
We're glad to be in South America.
Yeah, this
for
is
the
the
first
coolest
time.
thing ever, man. Getting
Right
to
on.
travel the world and play music and just share what I love to do with other people is the
Right on,
coolest
man.
thing ever.
You
so.
guys always have a place to stay. We're family, man. Just if you're coming down here, just let us know.
Always, bro.
Right.
And same to
Yeah.
you when you're up
Thank
there,
you.
man.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, man.
Right on.
Cheers. Thank you.
Hell yeah,
Thank
bro.
you.